Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, I went out and I got a handful of various comics to share with you. Yeah, a whole variety, various publishers, various creators. Good fun reading. There we go. So, first off here is The Amazing Spider-Man number 111 from 1972. I had the one before this, but I don't think I have it anymore. That was the one that it first introduces to the character of the Gibbon, who has not been seen very often. Of course, this is great. John Romita cover, and of course has the Gibbon as Marty Blank. I haven't read this in years, and I can still remember his name, Marty Blank. He was like an orphan, and people thought he was ugly because he looked very apish, but he was big and he was unusually strong, and he decided he was going to be a supervillain, and mixed it up with Spidey, and Spidey just took him out no problem, because I really remember with him had his hands around Spidey's throat, and Spidey just went whack and said, "You broke my grip like it was nothing." And Spidey says, "You may be strong, but you're not superhuman. Don't have superhuman strength," something like that. And then Marty latched on was influenced by by Kraven the Hunter, who is he is recruited by Kraven. This is right after Spidey had just said, "Go home." He said, "Go home, Marty, because you're not really a villain." He's not, and but Kraven recruited him, and then we have a flashback to a battle. Kraven can't fight Spidey himself because he's injured from an encounter with Khazar, Lord of the Hidden Jungle, and he's still recovering. Anyway, and so he kind of recruited Spidey stuff. Great stuff. I don't know what that is. There we go. To Peter and Robbie and J. Jonah Jameson. And anyway, Marty is recruited, but he takes some stuff that makes him extra aggressive and enhances his strength and stuff, and bad stuff. Then he takes on Spidey. This even has, where was it? I think just missed it. He still has, where is she? There she is. Gwen Stacy. So this is when Gwen was still alive. Yeah. Then we have the Submariner, number 48, 1973. No, 1972. Still 1972. This great Gil Kane cover. This has a Submariner and Dr. Doom, written by Jerry Conway and Gene Colan art. Some great stuff. And had some like a mental breakdown and lost his memory or something like that, and he was recruited by Dr. Doom to do some bad stuff in association with AIM and against AIM and stuff, and inter-villain battles with MODOK. Then we have 1973, Jungle Action number 5, featuring the Black Panther. And I think this was Black Panther's first first title that he was the lead character for. Of course, the first 3 or 4 issues were all reprinting old jungle stuff from the 50s. But then they brought in the Black Panther for several issues of his own, even though it wasn't his title. And I always loved this one because this has got, if you remember in the first Black Panther movie, it had I can't remember his name, the guy who was the big guy who was from the Gorilla Clan or something in there. It has some of the Avengers in this, and of course this is John Buscema artwork. Some good, so you know it's got some good stuff, and he's good at this kind of stuff and the jungly stuff, even though it's only marginally jungle, because it's still superhero stuff. Oh, good stuff. Then we jump over to DC Comics, still 1973. They're Back, a book-length thriller starring the unique Metal Men. This is Metal Men number 42 from 1973. And of course, this is carrying over from an earlier incarnation, and this is, I believe it was a reprinting stories from about a decade before, with Robert Kanigher writing, and art by Ross Andrew and Mike Esposito, and some nice art. Look at the great detail in that giant hand. Oh, some cool stuff. And he did lots of cool stuff in here. This is some really good artwork, storytelling. Then we jump over to Gold Key Comics. This is Tono and Kono, the Jungle Twins from 1975. Mutant gorillas survive the radiations of their ancestors in the Garden of the Gods. And it's not the Garden of the Gods here in Colorado. It's some cool stuff. Great George, looks like a George Wilson painted cover. And my Wagner is getting a little too loud there. And but this is written by Gaylord Dubois with art by Paul Norris. Of course, this is it's from 75, and this is number 14. Replacing the Tarzan title that they had lost a couple of years before. And they lost the rights to the Tarzan. This is involved like some mutants and stuff, and has in this. See, and Paul Norris had done Tarzan and for quite a while there, and this just, they needed another jungle title when they lost Tarzan, so they put this in and carried over the same creative team. And I always thought, this is my belief, that the Jungle Twins were inspired by the Tarzan twins, and which was one of the last books. It was an adaptation of the Burroughs story, the Tarzan and the Tarzan Twins, which was one of the last. I think it was the last adaptation, book adaptation that Gold Key did, and I think that was the inspiration for these characters. And here we go, over to Charlton. Well, it's Modern Comics, but Modern Comics was their Charlton Comics subdivision. It was all like for department stores and stuff, and primarily reprinting older stuff. Like here, Judo Master, he's back. Run for your life, Tiger, it's a trap. Tiger Hunt. It also features Sarge Steele as the artist as McLaughlin. And I think I can't think of his first name. I think I know his. I mostly know him for his inking work on other artists, but I can't think of his name right now. Some nice stuff. Of course, Judo Hunter. This is originally from 1968, and it looks like Dick Giordano may have done the pencils on this. So, may very well. And Yeah, because that really looks like Dick Giordano, and that face right there looks like Giordano. But it maybe McLaughlin did the whole thing, and it's hard to say. And of course, and this was set during World War II, and they were combining the superhero and war genres together. It was originally from 1966. I have a couple other issues of Judo Hunter somewhere, and it has the backup story of Sarge Steele. I don't know who the creative team is on that. And of course, DC now owns all those characters. I don't know if they've ever really used Judo Master. They may have a time or two, and I think I've seen more of Sarge Steele than Judo Master. And then we have here Wally Wood's Thunder Agents #5 from Deluxe Comics, 1986, and this has got the first lead story. It's of course Thunder Agents, but it's primarily No Man and Dynamo, but with art by Jerry Ordway. Lots of good stuff there. And then it has a second story, which I'm not thrilled with, by Keith Giffen. I'm not totally thrilled with that. And then followed that with another story. David Singer writer, Mike Harris did the pencils on this, and this is some really nice stuff too. Of course, the costume's supposed to be Superman, but they can't actually use Superman. Oh, there's Wolverine. It's like a costume party, and that's Dynamo. So he's wearing a Superman costume and doing his superhero antics. Is Dynamo. And now here's something that I bet very few of you out there have seen. As a Personality presents, and had Personality Comics in the late 80s and early 90s. There were various publishers that did a variety of types of biographical comics, and they had a lot for the Star Trek. Had both the original crew, and Next Gen, and that's what we have here is #1 with William Shatner, and then one with Leonard Nimoy. Nice cover paintings. And look at that, the card on the back. And that one's just an ad for another book. It had different artists, but they were both written by, what's his name? Stephen Spire III. I don't know him. It's some really decent artwork. And it's just that a brief biography of the actors. Kind of neat here because they used something that you just don't see anymore. Didn't see very often then either. Is the duotone paper. Art was done on that to give you the shading. For those who don't know, duotone paper is a type of paper that you get board, and it would have you'd apply. It'd come with two chemicals. You apply one chemical for lines going one way, another chemical for lines going the other way, or you add both chemicals, and you can get different shadings, so you can really see here all kinds of different shading going on here. And that is Captain Kirk. And here's Leonard Nimoy. That's not the best cover painting, but it's passable. It's not bad. It's not saying it's bad. It's more, and of course, has a lot of stuff from, of course, images from Star Trek and other stuff. And this covers his acting career, and into his directing career and stuff. Some nice things. Then we go here to this is from DC also. I think it's from DC. Yeah, and it called Fanboy #5. It was a miniseries. I think it was a 6-issue miniseries. And I have one or two others, but I don't. It's been so long since I've read it. I don't remember much about it. Sergio Aragones was the creator, and Sergio and Mark Evanier, and this book this one has the main character is Fanboy, fantasizing about being Robin. So here on the cover, they have used a Bill Kane cover illustration along with Mark Sergio, and but it has a lot of guest artists in it: Dick Sprang, Jim Mooney, Joe Giel, Nick Adams, Frank Miller, and Bruce Timm, each doing their version of Batman. And here, of course, great Sergio stuff. But you can see Dick Sprang's Batman, and then Jim Mooney as it goes through, and then through his fantasy and the mystery, and it keeps updating different Batman from a different time period. And then here's Neil Adams, and it goes like, oh, and he says, there's Dark Knight, and he goes, I'm a girl. And then then it ends up with the Bruce Timm version from the animated Batman the Animated Series, and that's a lot of fun. And then we're going to finish up with this lovely thing from 1999 also? I don't remember now. Yeah, 1999. Just Betty from Dark Horse Comics. Betty Page, Queen of the Nile, Episode 1, Buried Alive. 1 of 3. With interior art by Jim Silk, some lovely stuff, and this beautiful, beautiful Dave Stevens cover. Yeah, Dave Stevens. Oh, see the thing back here. Jim Silk's Betty Page portfolio, but you can see it's just, and I don't know if I have any of the others from this series, and this incredibly beautiful Jim Silk artwork on the interior, and of course very sexy, very Betty Page. Yeah, there she is. Oh wow. yeah, great Lars. Woo! And it ends on a cliffhanger, and I don't know what happens. So that is all I've got to share with you this time, and that took longer than I had expected it to. But oh yeah, bunch of fun comics from ages past. Oh yeah. I do want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do leave your comments down below. Tell me which of these books you thought was the coolest. Which one was the sexiest? That would be Betty Page, hands down. And what you thought of any of them, or any of the characters that we saw here. Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.